It is Thursday, the 24th of April. We are clicking along right into spring here. We've got a spring weather pattern that is going to visit the state of California really from top to bottom. That's showing up now and lasts through Saturday and a little bit into Sunday. Temperatures the next couple of days are going to be trending down, cooler. We've already cooled. Yesterday was a cooler day. Today will be a little cooler as well. We're going to talk about showers in the forecast for the weekend. That's always a big discussion. We'll do that off the top. Talk about the snow potential for the mountains, believe it or not. Yeah, the 540 line, which we'll look at as well, is going to drop. And that's usually an indication that you're going to get some snow at the higher elevations. Got a new camera to look at. We're going to look at surf and ski stuff. We got some Mount Shasta nuggets. And I know when Palisades Tahoe is going to close. So I'll tell you when that's going to happen. Billy Hudson just texted me and told me, okay, I'll tell you now. They're going to close May 26th. May 26th, it's almost June. Yeah, so they got some snow, so that's good news. But they're built for it. They can do that. Okay, we'll start off quickly. We'll do Mount Shasta. It's a dormant volcano, which means, yeah, it's not erupting today, but it means it still could. It's an active dormant volcano, which is, there's a few of those in the state. Lasten's active as well. Could erupt. Erupted back in, I want to say 1912. I should know that, but I can't remember. We talked about that before here. Mount Shasta is interesting. I talk about it all the time for lenticular clouds and the landscape, but because of it's so prominent, it sticks out in that plateau, right? There's not many, like Whitney is amongst many tall peaks. Tahoe, there's many tall peaks, so there's a lot of opportunity to alter climate. In this high desert climate, this thing just sticks out like a, now we hate to say sore thumb because it's not at all, but it definitely sticks out, and it creates its own rain, it creates its own cloud cover, it creates its own wind too when you get the downsloping. So that makes it unique. And then the Modoc and the Shasta Indians, among other tribes, it's horribly spiritual to Europeans. So imagine being an Indian here, the Shasta Indians, and again the Modoc Indians, being an Indian at the base of this thing for thousands and thousands of years before we showed up, watching its everyday iterations and treating it as if it was alive. And so, I don't know, whenever I see that, it's like when I see that mountain, I just go, oh, right, that's a live picture. So you're looking at it right now, nature snack, right? So that's what we're gonna talk about. Let's get right to the current conditions. Here's the fog, cloud cover. It was deep yesterday, deep again today. You can see there's Cape Mendocino, Point Conception, Bay Area, and look at that. See how uniform that line of low cloud and fog is in? That's a pretty deep marine layer. That is fog and low cloud because it's intact, right? If it was just a bunch of low clouds, these are high clouds, but that would be just everywhere. But it's clearly being contained by the coastal hills of Western California. And then even down in Santa Barbara, you got some activity. So how deep do you think that marine layer is? Oh, also, I like this feature too. Look at that. So this is a wind through the delta. And this is actually fog and low clouds spreading up into Sacramento. And look at that. I love that little characteristic funnel that it creates, right? So that's a big push of cool air. So today is going to be significantly cooler. San Francisco today, 57 degrees. That's as warm as it gets. That was an overnight low not too long ago. Redding, 75 up here. Sacramento, 70 degrees. And we can see why Sacramento is going to be 5 degrees cooler because the fog in there starts off cooler. San Jose, 66. Monterey, 60. Fresno, just 76 degrees. So everybody in that Central Valley feeling the cooling impacts of the sea breeze, of the straightest deck. And at this point, the marine inversion is pretty deep. So it's hard to call it fog, but it's intact like a fog bank. This is the profiler. We looked at it yesterday. And this line represents, in my mind, it represents the inversion, right? So you see the cooler air, not much warm air above it. Certainly, it's just cooler air. Below it, there's a little warm air, and that's going to allow for the mixing, and it should burn off, but then turn into clouds, or just not burn off, but just get up high enough and become just cloudy. And if you look at this, I mean, you could estimate that the inversion's at 2,500 feet. If it's kind of a sloppy inversion, but you get the idea. It's deep. It's impacting everybody, and it's hanging around, and it's all in response to, I'll circle us, it's all in response to, see this elongated trough area right here? I'm going to draw this in here. So see the the bottom of the trough. I'm just drawing that line through the axis of the lower trough. Like if I was drawing a line through the ridge axis, right? So that's the trough. And the trough's elongating. What happens often is, see how that ridge is elongating? Well, when that does that, the trough deepens. It kind of goes, right? That's how these things work. So it's a very progressive pattern right now, meaning things are going to happen over the next couple of days. And what's happening right now is this guy is impacting. That's a deep trough. And deep enough that the 540 line, which is a line of thickness, which just tells us how shallow the air mass is going to be, which means colder. How much? Well, let's just get into it. Just how much colder that air mass is going to be. So 540 thickness line just tells you, hey, it's 0 degrees Celsius or 32. It's freezing temperature. So we'll see that coming. We can't see it up here because we're at 500 millibars, but I'll show you the hypothetical positioning of it. So here we are. This is this Friday. Today, Friday, Saturday. Look at that. Look at that. Right? What do you do with that? Now, we know, we did this yesterday. Remember, we go, okay, well, is there moisture available for this guy to interact with? And that's the key. So let's go find out. Let's back up. Here we are in that same time period. There we are right about now. See the green? See the arrows? If you watch those barbs, see how they're kind of blowing counterclockwise, right? See the swoop? Here, I'll show you. I know you know, but if you don't know, remember the little flags at the end are the arrow feathers. So there's a circulation around that. So now we're looking for moisture. We were able within that moisture field to find the circulation. Now let's see if we can find any moisture. So Friday, not a lot. Here comes the chance right here. Saturday afternoon. See that darker green? Now you ask yourself, what would happen if this blue was in here, right? It would rain, it would snow, it'd be awesome, little weather system, but it's hard to phase this together. So again, this is precipitable water, tells you what you got. We've got dynamics. We are way up in the upper atmosphere. That's gonna be here, it is here. It's gonna continue to be here for a couple of days, but it doesn't have a lot of moisture to work with. Here we are all the way to Monday, Tuesday. There's some moisture there, but as you'll see, it doesn't really do much of anything. So now, let's see if we can do this. So we're looking for the 540 line. It's a solid line. Let's see if I can find it here. It should show up. My eyes are bad. There it is. See right over here? They instead of being dashed right here, they make the 540 line. It's a thickness, but that 540 line is 0 degrees. Okay. So if we or 32 degrees, pardon me, freezing. Same thing, centigrade versus Celsius, or Fahrenheit versus Celsius. So here we go. Today, this afternoon, you see the thickness is dropping, and as it drops, that 540 line, see how it creeps towards us? Closer. Cold air. See the 540 right over higher elevations of the Bay Area, right? And in the mountains, this means snow. Typically, it's elevated, but it's a broad brush for snow. But if you're up at 9,000 feet, you're going to get snow. And so if Mount Hamilton was 6,000, 5,000 feet, they'd get snow. So this is the forecast, right? 540 lines over the top of us, moving into Tahoe. Friday afternoon, maybe a shower. Saturday morning. What do you do with that, man? What do you do with that? Saturday afternoon, right? So mountains have a pretty good shot, right? They'll get some snow flurries. I'm not saying there should be a shot for thunder showers in there, but the models are not really trending that way, or they haven't been thus far. So we'll keep our eye on it. And I think I like this picture because what you can see here is the trough elongating. That's the trough. What we were looking at was a model, which was, a model. It's not real. It's projected. This is actually it. And you see the cold air, the speckled clouds diving down, and it's going to encompass us all. So eventually, this whole trough, this is a jet stream, is going to be right there. And that's starting today, but really through Friday, Saturday is the main event. So what did I just say? It's spring, and this is what's going to happen. What's going to happen? Okay, so how do we plan our day today? Well, how do we plan our weekend? Don't change a thing. I mean, just do it, but just take a jacket, maybe a sprinkle. I hope you see one. I hope I see one, but probably won't. Mountains will see some snow flurries, but not. And yeah, they could have some travel issues on Saturday morning, Saturday night. Well, that'd be interesting. But it would be just a couple inches, but that wouldn't take much to slow things down. But in terms of big weekend, I'm sure there's some weddings and stuff going on out there. Just bite the bullet and go. Temperatures will be in the mid 60s throughout much of the state. So Sacramento, you're in the mid 60s. That's your hot spots. It warms up a little bit on Sunday. These are the forecast highs for tomorrow. And it's springtime. This is very, very typical. I better check my clock. Okay, we're good. Today, Sonora is going to go 70 degrees. Fresno goes 76. Bakersfield goes 87. Well, no, not 87. Pardon me, 77. So this is the forecast footprint. And you can already see this footprint as we go through time. When I say footprint, I look at these isotherms, the colors. So these reds are pretty soon, right? That whole Central Valley, every day, we're going to see reds. Every day. It's going to be 80s and 90s every day, right? It's coming into summer. But right now, that's not the case because it's spring, and that's how spring works. This is the forecast for tomorrow. Jetstream wants to do, it's ridging here, remember? And then troughing here, and like that. So again, I show you that because I just drew something in at 18,000 feet, theoretically, but I'm drawing it in based on what's happening at the surface, right? So these are surface temperatures, warm, cooler. There's the boundary. The boundary tends to be where the jet stream is in the upper atmosphere. It's not always, but pretty close. It's pretty close. So isn't that interesting? So when I talk about weather, and this is the forecast for tomorrow. When we talk about weather being in terms of hot and cold, it's everything you need to know about weather is thermodynamic. Everything. I mean, there's just less to know, but it's all driven by that, right? Tilt of the Earth, differential heating on the planet. One area heats up, one area stays colder. The warm air rises, creates a vacuum. The cold air sucks in, creates earth spins, jet stream develops, surface fronts. It's all tied in, and it all starts with hot, cold. You take away the sun, not good. Okay, so red represents that area down around Texas, represents severe thunderstorm possibilities. Green represents a slight chance of a shower, a slight chance. Dark green represents rain. Blue represents some showers. So pretty quiet overall. If I was traveling today, yeah, you're fine. No worries. Chicago looks good. And again, it's with traveling, what I learned in all those years of broadcast is travel or airports, that's all about the hubs. When the hubs are jacked up, everybody's jacked up. Okay, so this is an interesting shot. We've never been here before. And I should say good morning. I just get going because all of a sudden, 30 minutes. Okay, we did weather, right? So I want you to feel good about that. So we can't, right? And I don't have to go through over it again. And now we're just jacking around, which is awesome because this is my morning. The first stuff is kind of like, you're scratching your head and kind of looking at different models. There's many more to look at, by the way, and you can find them on those links pages I have. This is Bernie, which I love. Bernie, when I think I wrote stuff down. Bernie's going to be 67 degrees. This is Bunch Grass Lookout. And I know this area well. You're kind of looking a little towards the north. This would be Mount Shasta. I don't know if you can see it in this shot. This little pond of water, I've been by it, but I can't remember where it is. This would be Bernie over here, I believe. And the lumber mill, right? Bernie's awesome, actually. It's awesome. A little construction work going on out there. Bernie is awesome. This is this little valley. Fall River's back in here. It's a beautiful climate, beautiful place. Camera that we have never been to before. And you may hear a little jackhammer because I'm spending money. Literally, when I started this endeavor, I'm like, I'm just going to do it all myself because I got free time. And then I'm like, well, I don't own a jackhammer. I don't have a backhoe. So they're literally just pulling stuff out of the house, like getting rid of concrete, starting again. But anyway, it's cheap too. It's so inexpensive. Okay, I like this shot so much yesterday. This is Stony Gorge Reservoir. Willows is just off in the distance. And this is Stony Gorge Reservoir, as I said. Willows off, and Willows will be 75 degrees. And I just think, when I look at that, like I would have that as a painting in my house. That's so beautiful. That high kind of, that's kind of how I grew up. Paradise was like this too. We had these low-lying hills, these lava. Well, in Paradise, it was lava flows. I don't know what this is. I don't think these are lava flows, but that's gradual sloping up to the coastal range, and you get that beautiful basin range kind of look. Yeah, I love that. So Stony Gorge Reservoir, I am going to go there someday. This is a shot I thought I'd throw in because I like the green. This is Buckhorn Peak, looking towards Yosemite. And I like this because climatic zones. When you look at this, you go, what kind of trees are those? And those are like oak trees. Well, you don't see pine trees. Remember, and where Paradise is a town that's right in the transition zone between the oaks and the pines, which is an elevation thing. We should go into that sometime. But you'll see, right when you're driving up to Tahoe, all of a sudden you get past, not even to Auburn. I mean, you get well before Auburn, but you're going up 80 or whatever, and all of a sudden the oaks turn into pines. Right? So we're in there's a zone, there's a name for this, and I should know this zone. Dang. I was kind of a climatology minor, but climatic zones are awesome, and this is one. In the green grasses and the bugs and all the good things that go with it. This is looking towards Yosemite. This is an interesting shot. This is Muir Beach. I wrote little notes down. 59 degrees today in Muir Beach, by the way. This is Duxbury Reef. Bolinas is right here. Duxbury Reef here, which was my senior thesis, and which was an awesome thesis. And Doug was awesome, Doug Powell. We didn't have to do a paper. We just had to give like an hour-long presentation, which was awesome because Duxbury is a good surfing reef. So I just went off, right? So we took the whole class out there, and I had to present. We went right out to the point, and I had to present to all these other I don't know if graduate students at the time. I can't remember who I was presenting to, but they were all very complimentary. Yeah, I think that's, and I was really nervous. I used to be nervous to talk in front of people I think everybody is when they're little, right? All right, so that's Bolinas. Bolinas today not going to be that warm, again, in the upper 50s. So that's an interesting shot. We haven't seen that shot before. This is basically from just above Muir Beach. This is an old standby. This, you know where this is, or maybe you don't, but probably you do. This is Mount Tamalpais. Watching the fog, the marine layer, we know it's deep. We know it's up over 2,000 feet, and that's about where this camera is on Mount Tamalpais. I think it clears off here based on the last couple of images, because otherwise this will not be a very awesome camera loop. It's not a very awesome camera loop. Ouch. Okay, well, there you go. That wasn't very awesome. I guess I had the wrong image up. This is interesting. We're going back to our homage to Victorville. And again, what we're doing is here, we're moving through the climatic zones in California, but also expressing and representing this diversity. Dude, like my son just got back from Australia. I mean, Australia's beautiful, but it's not quite, it's diverse, but it's over a large area, like the outback, and it's just very much the same. Like this place is like this. We were here, then we were just there, then we were just there, and the climatic zones are super close together, really close together, and that's awesome. This is Victorville, 82 degrees in Victorville. That's Mount San Antonio, and there's a beauty to it, right? It really is, and the green is nice to see too this time of year. So green in Victorville, moving through these, we go to never been here before. This is Sagebrush Flats. Sagebrush Flats. Temecula, near Temecula. It's at almost 5,000 feet. And it's 78 degrees, or just 75 degrees today in Temecula. And I just wonder what's going on over here. Like, I wonder if this dude, like every once in a while I fantasize about being this dude. There's a guy, I think that's a house right there, if you can see it. But like, yeah, this is all my land. Because I think you can do things like that, I think you can go out to some of these places and buy yourself. Like, you ever drive out through Nevada and you're driving and there's like, it's a sign that says like 50 acres for like $200 or something. You know what I'm talking about, right? On 50 or 80. You see it's on 80 going out through Elko. And there's no water, but I'm like, it's all alkaline. But I'm like, yeah, boss hog, get me some land. I always tease my wife, like, yeah, I'm gonna purchase that and put down a little trailer and just lord over my over my kingdom. Not making fun of Temecula at all. Temecula is awesome, and this is beautiful. Actually, I love this scrub oak, stunning, and it's high. It's interesting, very high. Okay, so now we're moving to skiing. This is Palisades. I talked to Billy, and he told me they're going to close May 26th. That's a live camera. Let's go find another live camera as we do our homage to Palisades. May 26th, they're going to close. I mentioned this yesterday, but that's a good, strong indication of the water year, too, right? I think. Okay, we can't do anything with that. I kind of wanted a better shot. Let's try this. Let's do the people shot. But it looks pretty quiet. Wow, looks like they're closed now. Now they're open. I see the chairlift running back there. Right here. Oh, nobody's coming down the face, that's for sure. Okay, yeah, almost June when they and when they close. So there you go. When we move on from surf or ski reports, we will enhance our surf reports in the summer, and we will find other fun things to do. This is Ocean Beach. The tide today at Ocean Beach is was high this morning at 8:30 at almost 5 foot. It's low at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and it's basically zeros out. So it's about a 5 foot, no, about a 5 foot tide swing, which isn't massive. Swell is small. Winds are blowing pretty hard out of the northwest, about 10 to 12 miles an hour. This is Santa Cruz, which likes a northwest wind. Remember we talked about their climate being so good. See how glassy it is inside there? Because the northwest wind, because of the direction, blows right by it. Blows right by down to Monterey. Actually, Monterey is more over here, but see how glassy it is in here. So it makes for good surf. Swell is super, super small. Tide's doing the same thing. It's still dropping. It's not a big tide swing today. So surfing, I mean, I would think if I had one of those wave storms, which I do have one, but if I was to want to surf it, so inclined, today's a good day. I mean, just go out and jack around. Go out and play around the waves, because it's really, don't do it when it's good, because you just get in the way. But if you're going to want to learn how to surf, this would be a great day to go learn how to surf. This is Halama. You see a gentleman or a woman, or there's somebody right over here, right there, right there. And he's in a good spot, actually. All right, well, the camera switched on us. And then we go to the eagles. And by the way, hold your breath. Prepare to be shocked at the giantness of the birds. Oh my God, right? Are you kidding me? Is that Shadow and Jackie right there? They just changed colors. They're huge. This is the best nature snack of the day. I wonder what they think, right? They're like, look at them looking around like 15-year-old kids that just got a driver's license. Like, no, I could do that. Could you do that? I could fly. We could fly. We could just fly over there, just like mom. We could do what mom does. We could fly over there and do what mom does. Oh my God, so awesome. Okay, I'm not going to make you sit here with me. I will leave this up, by the way, as I do my editing. May 26th, Palisades closes. So we talked about the weekend, the chance of snow in the mountains, showers here. You saw, now the reason we do this is, how we looked at the models and I go, okay, and you saw it. You saw what we're looking at. So there's no magic out there anymore. So tonight when you watch your favorite TV weather guy, which I hope I am, but if I'm not a TV guy anymore, but if you are, I want you to go, just commit, brother, right? Commit, or don't, because it's like they're looking at the same thing. So don't. Oh, my 50% chance of showers. Probably not going to rain. Probably not. That's the answer. But here's the thing about television: nobody will do that because nobody wants to be wrong. And I always prided myself in like, I don't care if you think I'm wrong. I mean, we're right most of the time, which we used to be wrong a lot in the old days, but now we're right a lot. But my job here, and I think a meteorologist's job, is to demystify stuff and go, yeah, that wedding you got planned on Saturday, yeah, maybe a sprinkle, but you don't need to buy tents, right? That's a tough one actually when you get into the tents, because I've done a bunch of those, but you get the idea. You're paying me for my experience. And there's a little bird there. You're paying me for my experience, and anybody can go to their phone and go 30% chance of rain. the hell does that even mean, right? I know what it means, but it doesn't mean anything. You know what it means? It means it's not going to rain. Last thing I'm going to say about weather forecasting, and this is not pointing fingers at anybody, but one of the biggest problems is nobody wants to be wrong, and people, nobody wants to be wrong. They're too intent. We are too intent on going. We'll never get precise with you. Even though in my own mind I'm precise, I know exactly in my mind what's going to happen, like you do now as you looked at those models precisely. I know what it's going to look like. I know what it's going to smell like. I know how warm it's going to be, how cold it's going to be, and I would try to convey that to you. They won't do that because it's too dangerous. Because if you're wrong, it's an ego thing. I know it drives me nuts. So that's why it's so imperative and important that you. Not imperative important. You can sit here with me, but the more you know, the more you know, and the more you know, I guarantee some of you know more. Many of you know more that watch this and have gone through this with me, more than most television meteorologists. You just do because most television meteorologists aren't, right? So not a bust. And they're great presenters, by the way. They're great communicators. It's just like many political. Correspondents or whatever aren't politicians, right? Oh, that doesn't make sense, but you get what I mean. All right, I'm just kind of opening up to you because I'm trying to push it to, I got 2 minutes. Yeah, buddy. All right, I'm going to roll. It's nice talking to you. Have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.